All right, this is going to be the notes on worksheet 5. Are we good? So I start out with this little explanation that just says this is what you should do when you see an application problem. Basically, just read it carefully, look at the units, make sure you identify what you're actually trying to find. For the ones we're going to do today, I highlighted number 5 because you're going to want to find a formula or an equation of the line they're talking about. And then it says sometimes you have to use it to predict a value. And at the end it says clearly convey your result using appropriate units. I'm real picky. Guys, please label when you're doing word problems. Because if there's an application to it, I need to know what you're talking about. Is your answer, number of something? Awesome. Well, this one already has the ink on it. So now I managed to save it that way, but we'll get started. Okay. It says in 2004, a school population was 1,001 students. By 2008, it had grown to 1,697. Assume the population is changing linearly. I can't say the word. Okay. This is like a baby algebra question. Okay. So just think this is easy. Don't try to make this more complicated than it is. It just says, how much did the population grow? Yes, 696. Does that seem right if we subtract the number of kids here and the number of kids here? Okay. Label? I guess students, kids, whatever. Studs, right? We could just abbreviate. Okay. How long did it take the population to grow from 1001 to 1697? 4 years. You guys are geniuses, see? What is the average population growth per year? 696 divided by 4, anybody? 174? Okay, label this time though. Students per year, good. All right. Now it gets a little more complicated. What was the population in 2000? We could do this a whole bunch of different ways. Anybody want to explain what they're thinking? Miranda?
I was thinking multiply 174 times 4 and subtract that from 1001.
Okay, so she wants to back up 4 years from 1001. So she's saying 174 students a year times 4 years and then subtract it off 1001. That would work. Somebody else have a different idea? Okay, because from 2004 to 2008 was 4 years, right? We already knew it changed 696 in 4 years. So because it's exactly 4 years, we want to go back. We could just, but that's exactly what 174 times 4 is going to be. So it doesn't matter. All right. So we could just go 1001 minus 696, right? Anybody get that for me? Yes. I don't think we're talking about Harlem here, right? All right. Find an equation for the population P. Some of these problems assign a value, a different letter for X and Y. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not picky. If you want to write Y equals in terms of X, I'm not going to be super picky. Mark it wrong because he didn't use P. But it does say this is a little important. T years after 2000. So we're going to write a function P of the population is some slope times T plus some intercept or starting value where T equals number of years after 2000. So that's our answer. Now we need to figure out how to get there. So this is part E, right? Okay. Any ideas on how we're going to get there? Or anything we already know?
Well, the slope would be the average students per year because that's how much it's increasing with every year.
Perfect. Everybody okay with that? That this was really the slope? Average rate of change? That's a huge issue for calculus because you're going to find the average rate of change between two values. It's always just slope. Okay? It seems really complicated. I promise there's going to be a quiz and it's going to say average rate of change and half of you are going to go, I don't know what to do. I don't know what that means. Just remember the slope. Okay. What was it? 174? Okay. What about here? Okay. Years after 2000, well, we knew in 2000, did we already find that number? It was 305. Okay. Some of you probably wouldn't have figured out that that was the intercept, maybe. If you didn't know that, you could have started by saying year 4, it was this. And year 8, it was this. So you could have found the slope, right? And then used point slope, like y minus this equals 174. I'm just suggesting that there's going to be different ways you're going to have to do some of these. This one really was pretty easy. We could just plug it in. And F, find the population in 2011. What do we need to do there? Careful. How many years after 2000 is that? So in 11 years, what are we going to do? 174 times 11. Is that it? We got to do the plus 305 still. To what? Someone else get that number? 2219. Excellent. Okay, so far so good, easy? Yeah, that's getting to the Harlem number now. All right, that was a baby algebra question. This one isn't much harder, but apparently it's already done for us. I don't know what I did here. Clear ink, there we go. Phone company has a monthly cell plan where customer pays a flat monthly fee, which I called the fat fee because I can't talk earlier, and then a certain amount of money per minute used on the phone. If a customer uses 410 minutes, the monthly cost will be $71.50. If they use 720 minutes, the cost will be $118. If it is in fact linear, okay, it's not a weird function, it's just a linear function, what could we use to figure this out, the equation? Okay. What are some points that we know?
410, 7150, 720.
Okay, I mislabeled that earlier, but that's right. It's minutes and then dollars, right? Okay. Somehow I wrote that backwards in one class earlier, and then when I went to label the slope, I got myself really confused. Can you read that, guys? I wrote that one really small. It's just the ordered pairs from up here. Okay, so can you work on finding that equation for me? Did anybody else get 15 cents per minute? Oh, I wasn't supposed to interpret the slope yet for you. All right, to find the rest of the equation, though, what do I need to do after I have that? Yep, pick a point and do point slope, or I could do y equals mx plus b. If anybody wants me to see me do that way again, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to stick with point slope. I'm going to pick the one that doesn't have a decimal over there, 118 and 720. I'm being lazy and doing this on my calculator. I'm not showing all my work because I'm going to run out of room. Okay, or I'm not going to do anything because I can't type. There we go. I think it just comes out plus 10 when you show all your work and distribute and add that over there. Does anybody else get plus 10? Do I need to show the steps? Okay, we good? All right. So that's our equation, and they didn't give us a particular variable to use other than it says x is the number of minutes. So I think we're fine. If we wanted to write it in function notation, we could have said the cost in terms of minutes is 15 cents a minute. All right, either way is fine, I don't care. B, interpret those. What does the slope mean? I gave it away already. The slope means 15 cents per minute. And the y-intercept means read the question again. Yep, excellent, Riley. It's the flat fee of $10. When you are confused and it doesn't say up there flat fee, it's always the value at which when x is 0, right? It's always the value when x is 0. So if we didn't ever use our phone, that's what we would have to pay. They called it a flat fee, but if you didn't know that for some other question. All right, find the cost at 687. Can you plug in that value? Now, I know some of you are going, she's going really fast, and some of the rest of you are going, is she ever going to teach us anything new? I know how to do all this. So we got to find a happy medium. I know that. We are reviewing, so hopefully you've at least seen this before, okay? We're going to get to some brand new stuff that none of you have done, so don't be freaking out thinking this is too easy or too hard. We're going to hit the middle road eventually. Anybody know what this one comes out?
$113.05.
Okay, and that's just a dollars, right? You could write for 687 minutes if you wanted, but I'm okay without. Anybody lost? Need me to go back over how I did something? Good. All right. Oh, we get to talk about moose. Anybody know the plural of moose? Is it really?
No, it's
I think it's just moose.
everyone says me.
The moose population, right? All right, because we had fun with this question all day. In 1991, the moose population in a park was measured to be 4,360. By 1999, it was up to 5,880. Population continues to change linearly. Find a formula for P, the population. Doesn't tell us what to use for X. We could, yes, for X, do we want to use the years 1991 and the year 1999? You get huge numbers when you do that, okay? What could we use? Assign X to be what? Years after 1900 you could, or even after 1990. Now, if you used the full year, you would get the same answer to part B, and you would get the same answer to the slope. What would be different is the y-intercept. Because think about it, if y is the year 0, you're going to have like negative numbers of moose, right? If the year 0 is really 1990, we're only going back 1 year, then you're probably going to have, 3,000 some moose. Okay, let's try this. Find a formula. Ordered pairs we're going to use. Anybody? Now that we wrote that years since 1990. Yep. 1 year since 1990, there were that many, and 9 years after 1990, there were this many. All right, get to work on the equation of the line. Calculator works better when you turn it on. Anybody get a slope? What would that represent? Yep, 190 baby moose every year. Okay. You can use either point in point slope. Did anybody want me to show the other method once? Yes? If I use the y equals mx plus b, I would just put like the 4360 equals 190 times 1 plus b. So basically I'd just do 4360 minus 190 and that would be the b value. I do too, but there's times when students just get totally confused, and I find that if they just use point slope, they feel like there's a definite way to do it. When I start doing 2 or 3 methods, I get people. So I don't mind showing you, but anybody get 4170? That's what this answer should have been as well. All right, what's kind of wrong? I wouldn't count it wrong, but they told us to do what in the directions? Use P, so this could be P for population. And again, I should probably write years since. All right, part B. What is the predicted population 2003? What do I have to put in? If you're not sure, 2003 minus 1990, what is that going to come out? 13 years, so pluck a 13 in there. 190 times 13 plus 6,640 is the moose population. And I'm going to label it moose population, not decide if it's moose's population of moose. But like some words, they're like fish can be singular or plural, but yet they say fishes too, right? So
there's a certain way to use it.
There is. I have looked that up, I think.
Yeah, fishes is different types.
Yes. Yes. Different species is fishes. Yep. I do remember looking that up. All right, guys. This is a pretty easy one, but I got to see if you realize it's an easy one. The Federal Helium Reserve held about 16 cubic feet of helium in 2010 and is being depleted by 2.1 billion. Yeah. I don't know that there's a Federal Helium Reserve. About 2.1 billion cubic feet per year. There's a bunch of people walking around sounding like Mickey Mouse or clowns or something, inhaling helium, right? Give a linear equation. Does anybody know why I say this is an easy one and we don't have to do much? What is the slope? Depleted by 2.1. So the slope is going to be negative 2.1. Now, they are both in billions of cubic feet, so we really don't have to label that if we don't want to, or move decimals or anything, right? What about a y-intercept? If it says number of years since 2010, doesn't that make 2010 our original value? Do we already know the value in 2010? So what's the equation? Be careful, can you use the right letters maybe? I wouldn't really care, but the reserve is negative, right? 0.1 t plus 16. We good? Use x and y? I don't care. Oh, r and x. Yep, that's probably what I would have done as well. In 2015, what will the helium reserve be? Do we plug in 2015? No, we got to plug in years since 2010 would be 5, right? Because it said years since 2010, so 5 years after that. So plug that in and we get R equals what? Did someone else get 5.5? And it is billions of what? Cubic feet of helium. Is it HE? What's helium? Just, it's not hydrogen. HE? I got a question about chem, but we're going to finish the video here first before I start getting off topic. If the rate of depletion doesn't change, when will they run out and be depleted? They'll run out. How are we going to do now?
You would make y 0.
Yes, the reserve would be 0. So we're going to do 0 equals negative 2.1 t plus 16. Subtract, divide, and we get what?
So like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, did you get 7.6 or something? Am I remembering the decimal correctly? It says when. If you told me 7.6 in 7.6 years, yeah, I'd probably be okay because it doesn't specify that you need a year. But if we do a year, if you add this to 2010, did I write that right? It becomes 2017.6, which would be sometime during the year 2017 or by the year 2018. So I probably would have said during 2017, 6/10 of a year into months, July.
Approximately July 2017.
We'll be out of helium.
We
Birthday
could probably
parties.
Figure out the exact
Yeah, we
and
could.
time, too, with decimal.
Birthday parties will no longer be fun, right? All right. There's a really important thing on this page that I just erased. It was a little note that said there is one like this on the next quiz, test, summative, whatever you want to call it, okay? So make sure when you look back over your notes before the test, you look at this question because I remember it was trouble last year for people. When hired as at a new job selling jewelry, you're given 2 pay options. Okay. Option A, you would earn what? Plus, nope, you get a commission. That's plus 0.12 times S or X, whatever. I don't write S as well. They look like 5, so I'm going to write X equals the amount of your sales. Does that sound okay? Okay, what if you take job B?
20,000 plus 0.05.
Everybody okay with where we're getting those crazy decimals? Okay. How much jewelry would you need to sell for option A to produce a larger income? What are we going to do? Option A needs to be what? Yeah, I did an inequality. I thought we could handle that. You could just solve it as an equality and then say they got to earn more than that, right? All right, so do some algebra. Tell me what you get. X has to be greater than, and it doesn't come out pretty at all.
I didn't think it was going to.
It's one of those like 4, 2, 8, 1, 5, 3, 7. I have no idea.
Yeah, that was actually exactly right.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
4, 2, what is it?
8, 5, 7.
I think I said 1, 5, but okay.
Oh, did you? No, 0.14.
Somebody else get that? So, no? Okay. Subtracted 0.05x from each side. So I got 0.07x, subtracted 17,000 from each side. Is the decimal in the wrong spot? Then 3,000 divided by 0.07. Did you get it now? Morgan, right? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying. I need to be practicing names. All right, so can you answer like a sentence for me? You need to sell more than, yep, more than or over that amount. Now, if you round it to 0.15, because you made it up, I suppose, but I would really prefer you just use, say, I need to sell more than this. Sell over that? That's fine. You need to over that. Okay. It's 7th period on a Friday. Or we're pretending it's a Friday. We all good? Where's the clearing? There it is. Okay. The first week in September. You guys have a shorter than that, don't you? Because we have a school improvement day sometime. I don't know. We'll talk later, guys. Let's finish this. The median home values in Mississippi and Hawaii. Okay, so these two are home values in Mississippi in the 2 different years, and these two are in Hawaii, okay? So it's like the average home value in Mississippi in those 50 years went from 25,000 to 71,000. Is that making sense, what we're talking about here? Hawaii, it went from 74,000 to 273,000-ish. Say, do we need to do too much math to answer question A? In which state did the values increase at a higher rate? What would we do if we wanted to figure that out? Exact value for each one. You would subtract to figure out how much it went up and then divide 50 years, right? Because it went up this much, because it wants at a higher rate, so I would assume they're saying per year. I guess it wouldn't matter if you did per 50 years, they're both per 50 years. But if you subtract, you get that Hawaii is much higher. We're going to need to, by the way, I had trouble learning to spell Hawaii earlier today.
I totally forgot the A.
So did I. The second A? Yeah, me too. In these, if these trends were to continue, what would be the median home value in Mississippi in 2010? Okay. Somebody suggested we use the actual years, 1950 and 2000, and we had these huge, ginormous numbers with negative values at the end and all kinds of junk. Let's not. Let's use X equals years after 1950. I like that.
And then the y-intercept.
You got it. What Miranda just said then is these are actually going to be the y-intercepts, right? Because this is at exactly 1950. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
It's okay.
So these are the ordered pairs 0, 25, 200. And the other one for Mississippi would be 50, 71, 400. Everybody know where I got 50? 50 years later. Oh, that's a nice parenthesis. It's very big and I can't get it to erase.
I don't want to go anywhere.
Oh, now it's showing an eraser but writing as a pen. That's the way my day goes. Okay. We're going to need to find the slope, guys. Did you figure it out? Anybody?
I can't.
Subtract those y values, divide by 50 years. Do I need to, if I'm not showing enough work, please just,
Maybe 924. I've never done that.
should be positive, I think. I got 924 as well,
I
but
think I forgot the 0.
if you did 71,400 minus 25,200 and 50 minus 0 for the denominator, 924 years. Dollars per year increase in, that was Mississippi, right? So what would the equation for Mississippi be? 924x plus, did I do something wrong? Okay. I did 71,400. I'm doing slope, okay? So it's y minus y. Thank you for asking. And x minus x. That better? Okay, 924, that's what this came out. And the intercept, we already decided that year 0 was what? For Mississippi. What if I didn't use year 0 as that? What if I had called that year 50? Yeah, but I would have had to do point slope or something, right? To find the equation. Everybody know what I'm talking about, maybe? Maybe not. All right, what are the 2 points we're going to use for Hawaii?
0, 7, 4, 400.
If you can read, I can't write. Okay.
50, 270.
And everybody's okay with where I got 50? Just 50 years after 2000 is 50 years. Say that again? No, we're using the numbers here from Hawaii. Okay. They're different numbers, so we're going to get a different. That's okay. Oh, yep, that's not looking like a fraction bar. Nope. That's why I don't teach geometry anymore. They took it away.
Better than I would be doing on that thing.
74,400, is that right? Anybody get 3966? That's supposed to say year in Hawaii. All right. So the actual equation is y equals 3966 per year, starting at what value?
74.
All right. Mississippi in 2010. We didn't ever finish part B. Mississippi in 2010. So we need to take this and put in a what? From 1950 to 2010. So we need to put a 60 in there for x. I'm sorry, not pointing to the x very well. 924 times 60 plus 25,200. So the answer they're looking for here is the median home value in Mississippi, $80,640. Okay, kind of out of room here, but it says, if we assume the linear trend continues both before and after those years, when were they equal? And it says might be an absurd answer. We'll talk about why that is in a minute. What are we going to do to say when they're equal? Set them equal. So we have 924x plus 25,200 equals 3966x plus 74,400. That's supposed to be a 4, I think, right there. Can you guys solve that? I'm kind of out of room.
You never have confidence in yourself, Riley. You always say stuff like, I can try. I can attempt.
Getting a negative number, yes? Somebody else get negative 16.2?
Yes.
Did you divide backwards? You got to put the negative 49,200 in your calculator first, and then divide it by the 3042.
Well, because of the 49,200 isn't negative.
All right. What does that even mean?
No idea. It was 16.2 years before.
16.2 years before 1950. So if we go 1950 minus 16.2, we're at roughly what year?
1930. Almost 1930.
Yeah, around sometime during 1933, almost 1934. Did I do something wrong? 30, it depends how you rounded maybe, but did you get 1933 something?
No.
Did you get 34? Okay. 93, that's what's the problem, 1933. Does anybody know why it's an absurd question or an absurd answer? This is a historical fact for you.
Hawaii technically wasn't a state.
Good job. Hawaii was not a state until
Like 55.
something, somewhere in there. We can look it up, but Hawaii and Alaska were almost the same time, weren't they? Or were they? Yeah, same year. I was thinking it was even later than that because I was thinking I was born, but you're probably right. I'm probably wrong. Okay,